Okay, so welcome to Social Media Fridays. Each week we meet to wind down and talk about what happened in the world of social media in the previous 7 days. With us today we have Christian. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Christian Sepulveda.
Sepúlveda, yes.
Sepulveda. Okay. Christian has spoken at SMX in Chile, and he lists himself. He's proud to call himself an SEO. He's founder of a Media Tools SEO and Internet Marketing Agency in Chile since 1999, and lists his bragging rights as one wonderful daughter and building his house. That sounds like a pretty good thing to be proud of.
The love of my life. The love of my life.
Of course. I just had a granddaughter, and she's the love of my life. Masataki Wasa is webmaster of wasaweb.net. He's also a Google Top contributor on the AdSense forum in English and the Google Plus Help community. Meher Bhagat is a human resources dynamo from India, and Adelaide's leading SEO is Tony McCreath. He's webmaster of Website Advantage, and the author of a book, Social Proof, and what Masataki has told. Okay.
You never introduce yourself.
Well, there's not much to tell, mate. Our first item is unfortunately titled 5 Shocking Facts. Why do they say shocking? I really don't get that. Let's just say 5 facts that will change your entire approach to social media. I think Tony said that he read this article. Was I wrong? Looks like we've lost Tony for a second. No, we've got 2 Tonys. Oh, it's a great day for bandwidth. All right. Well, look, is there any of us that have read this article? In simple terms, said do email marketing. Facebook is still the best at referrals, and Pinterest works well long term. I don't see any shocks in those 3. Did anybody have another take on it?
I thought these were published individually at different places at different times, right? I mean, it's an aggregation of
I think so.
Pieces.
Pieces of research, all researchers on different social media platforms kind of brought together for intensive purposes.
One thing it did was it reminded me of the difference between some of these channels. Like Pinterest, it's a long term because you put something up there and it's there forever and it accumulates. Whereas something like Twitter is you put it there and it's gone in 10 minutes. So there's quite a different dynamic, and therefore you should use them different ways.
So is the case with email marketing. You would have to remind, like Twitter, all the time. And the email is like much more to say, much more to give, much more to take back also. I mean, depends the kind of campaign that you're running.
By the way, if you're following along at home, the article that we're talking about is on Neil Patel's Kissmetrics site, blog.kissmetrics.com/shocking-social-media-facts. I'm sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Jim, you could probably put the current post or article in the showcase thing so that people can directly click on it.
Unfortunately, you have to start that up before we go live.
All right.
And look, I did think about that showcase thing, but I think it takes away some of the pixels that we can use to display your happy, smiling face, and I decided against it.
I'll have to do a special smiley one moment. There you go. You got your snapshot.
We are working on a page which doesn't take any resources from the Hangout on Air that will enable us to communicate directly with people that are watching us. Currently, we have 0 viewers, so we're not impacting anybody. But I'll put that in. I know somebody's going to come along later and watch this, so that's just what happens there. All right. By the way, Tony, I noticed Neil Patel being bagged on another community that we won't mention just recently, and the person that was bagging him was totally totally incorrect. Should school these people. Anyway, all right. Let's pass on that. And let's go to the next one. Didn't read Facebook's fine print. Here's exactly what it says. I'm not much use there. I'm a recovering Facebook user. I've been clean for, I think, about 15 months now. But Tony or anybody, would anybody like to comment on this one?
I thought it was just a good going through what you're basically saying and what that means in terms of things like even if you delete your profile, if someone else has shared something you said or it's part of the network, then it's not going to disappear. And the fact that advertisers are using all your information and they have the rights to do that, and that they can do these experiments on you because you signed a thing saying they're allowed to do research. So as long as it is legally bindable what they're saying, you're giving them rights to do what they want.
Right. Is Facebook strong in Chile, Christian?
What? Sorry?
Is Facebook strong in Chile? Is it a popular site?
Very, very, very strong, like Twitter. Google Plus is very little, and Pinterest are very little too. Facebook is a monster.
Are there any Spanish-specific social media channels people go to?
No, Facebook. It's just Facebook. Twitter. Not so much Instagram, Pinterest, WhatsApp, but nothing else.
Okay. Have we covered our second item?
I think we have. Facebook is by default used by, I think, all the countries. Be it, any country. I think Facebook is by default one of the most performing channel. And Twitter, I mean, like when it comes to India, Facebook is everyone's favorite. Twitter is less. Google Plus is getting on an active mode. Pinterest is still less performing than any of the channels yet in India.
What's the effect of Google shutting down Orkut?
I think it's the same response like every other, social platforms. I mean, like basically, if you look, it's not much of an effect. You're still getting Google Plus profile. I mean, like I wouldn't say there's much effect on people. It's the same thing.
Yeah, because as far as I know, Orkut has always been very strong in India and in Brazil.
Yeah, but then when Google Plus took over, I think I haven't been. I mean, like I was an active user of Orkut quite long ago, but then I stopped using it. To be honest, maybe that was Facebook affecting me.
I'm just
Right.
wondering how many Orkut users who don't have Google Plus account, how many of them will be moving over from Orkut to Google Plus?
I think over 60% have already moved on.
Okay.
Already moved on. Everybody I knew on Orkut was by default on Facebook, Twitter, uh, mostly on Facebook, and then I see them popping up into Google Plus by default. I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah. So 60% of friends that I knew, I mean, like my network on Orkut has by default moved on to Google Plus profiling, but they're not actively using it. Maybe just they're kind of getting into get to know Google Plus scenario.
Yeah. So it's going to be
Google
interesting.
doesn't do these things without numbers. They would have sampled the readership, and they would have known, what the likely outcomes were going to be long before they made the decision.
Could be.
Yeah.
We're all sheep.
Yeah, we like to get spanked all the time to move ahead.
Okay. All right. Let's say we move on to news item number 2. This keeps up. This will be the shortest social media Fridays on record. This one was posted by Meher Bakat, and it was a Google Plus social media tip on Ripple networking. If you are watching this, you can watch these on the Social Media Fridays community. This post was made on the 1st of August 2014. Meher, you posted this. Tell us all about it, please.
Well, I found it pretty interesting because I've been using Ripple. I mean, like whenever I post something, a week later I do check in back, how the network is blowing up. Overall users, I mean, like my friends, people in my network really don't know this. I mean, what exactly Ripple is, and basically they're not even seeing the tab. To be honest, they like come, post, and go. They've been using it like Facebook. Facebook on your profile doesn't give you how many people have come and viewed your viewed your post. Whereas Facebook page does give that option to check out how many page views or post views that you have. Similarly, but with Google Plus, even in profiles, this is one of the amazing features that in case you're posting something, you can check how many people are sharing it, kind of how the network is basically expanding. I think this is a very good feature for people who are into content marketing or any other campaigns that they're running. This is one of the amazing features. I think Tony can give highlights on it. Google Plus.
Yeah, it's a good way to find out who the influencers are. As you see, quite often the same people are the ones that become hubs of a Ripple. So they're the ones you want to try and connect with because they start the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you were saying?
No, please go ahead.
No, no, I wasn't saying. I was just adding. Say something.
I was going to say that it's actually very useful because you can see the ripples for any web page by typing in plus.google.com/ripples/details !URL equals your page. It can be an external site, external page, and you can see how many times your web page has been shared. And you can
Yeah.
use that even without a Google Plus account.
I just find it an amazing feature. I think people should be aware of it. I think it's also great, for content people, content marketing people, or a blog writer. If you're writing something, even for Jim, I think it's a great feature. If Jim is posting something, he can check out who are the influencers who are sharing, and then he can keep that, have that those people into a specific circle, and share it accordingly. I think this is one of the best way to find out and have also your circle set down.
On a related thing, you can embed comments into your own website, and that actually will show you anybody who's commented about the article. So it's not just people who've commented on the page. It's if they've reshared or posted on their own timeline, it will show up on your actual page. The downside is you don't get notifications, which I realise. I think a few people have commented on my website now, and I'm not aware of it.
But weren't you able to even check through that? I mean, you must have activated the Google Comments to a specific set of. How how did that happen? I mean, like, is your website into Blogger Connect, and what is it exactly? How did you get Google Comments? Because you must be getting a panel that says, get notifications or something.
It's an unsupported feature. I believe it was basically someone worked out how Blogger was doing it and realised that you can do it on your own website. So there's no real kind of options.
Okay, no integrations. But you do get options in Blogger, don't you? If you've integrated.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if Blogger knows how to get notifications.
Okay, I thought Blogger was giving notifications, wasn't it?
I presume it would. Otherwise, yeah, it's a little bit defunct because of that. But it is nice that you see stuff that you see comments about your article out from outside the article.
Blogger integration with Google Comments was already there, wasn't it? I mean, like you can just integrate Google Comments by default from the panel. I will check whether it gives notifications as well. Because on the post that you share, it brings down those comments into that, blog post as well as into comments if you have integrated Google Comments.
Which I guess it goes on to a good SEO type tactic is to try and find out via ripples and things who's sharing your content and where, and get yourself interacting back in on that. I do things like Google Alerts to see if someone links to my website, and if it's someone who's I know suggesting one of my tools, I will go in and help anybody who's having problems with it. So that sort of monitoring via all these different ways is, I think, a good way to keep on top of your social stuff.
Yeah, track back and kind of get interactive sessions with them. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, that's true. Track back as well. Yeah.
I'm just checking my Blogger, one of the blogs on my Blogger. and it says automatically share after posting, prompt to share after posting, and third is the option where it says use Google Plus comments on this blog. So whenever I post a blog post, and if I've checked this option on Google Plus comments, anything that my post is automatically shared. If you just if you check out, if you use Google Plus comments on this blog or my blog, if I check that, it by default gives you an option automatically share after posting. You would have to uncheck it. That's a default feature. So whenever I use this feature and I share a post on my Google Plus profile or page or anywhere on Google Plus, it's going to give me a track back option of comments. All the comments that in that post is going to come back to my blog post. But then I think by default, I think the ribbon feature is great. Track back, as you said.
Mm. Yeah, I'll have to see if there's anybody's worked out how to do it outside of Blogger. It might become a proper feature from Google Plus at some point, proper embedded comments. So.
We fake embedded comments on the mseoquestions.com site. We use the OAuth API to log people on, and it looks just like the Blogger comments. So it looks, it looks so much like it that we have no spammers, but it works so that we keep the content. Okay. Have we dealt with this one?
Yeah.
All right. Our last one was posted by Meher. 5 new Twitter tools to increase your credibility.
I'm going to ask you to speak on that.
No, look, credibility. I don't know. I don't think there's any tool that could give me credibility. I have to admit I haven't read the article here, so you'll have to give me a lead pass on this one.
Uh-huh. Is Kristen using Twitter much?
Probably falling asleep. What was it, 3 in the morning?
It was in Chile at the moment, Christian. Is it about 2:30?
I'm looking for Mehar's blog. I was stuck on the comment of the theme of comment.
I'll just put it into the chat.
Using Google account for comments. Why don't you use this quiz in your blog, Mehar?
Which one?
meharsbehards.com.blogspot.
Okay.
One is in your profile in Google Plus. MB Blogs.
Yeah, MB Blogs. Okay, meherbhagat.blogspot.com.
What blogs was you talking about?
I haven't integrated my Google Plus blog into Google Plus comments yet. I've not integrated that.
Okay.
I haven't. But if you do, because I did try and give it a shot, if you integrate that, it does, it doesn't actually give me much control, I think. No, I haven't been using it much. I haven't been using it. I just tried, a kind of how this works. So it was just one shot that I gave. I might integrate maybe soon when I understand the complete orientation of it. I'm not yet through with it, so I'm not kind of integrated Google Plus comments on my blog.
Do you already have authorship integrated? Is that kind of automatic now?
No, I can just check and just have a check mark done, and I can integrate that. But I think I like the other feature nicely, because anyone who posts a comment on my blog right now, I have an authorization to modify it. I mean, delete it, mark it as spam, or anything. So it's kind of total control for me right now. But when it comes to Google Plus comments, people are going to comment. I would have to check back manually, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think you have any control because they're kind of commenting on their own stream,
Yeah.
and it just happens to be shared in your blog.
Right. Yeah. Right now, I have the you know kind of ownership that allows me to mark it as spam or delete. Simple as that. It's a total control that I have right now, and I haven't been posting much on my blog in any case. It's something randomly that I like. I posted across. I've been not writing much. I'm not an active blogger in that case. So it's kind of all right not having Google Plus comments integrated. It's all
Yeah.
right when you are an active blogger and you have the total control. You keep things actively, and you are checking back every day, every 4 hours, and you can still you have an option to delete, mark as spam in Google Comments. If somebody comments on my article and that's integrated with my blog, I do have an option that says, uh, you know, delete comment or mark as spam. But then I would have to get onto Google Plus or Post and then manually do it. It's not going to give me an email saying that somebody has made a comment. It's good for active bloggers, not a person like me who blogs rarely. Have Christian been using Twitter a lot? Who's been using Twitter a lot?
Twitter?
Yeah.
No, I'm not used Twitter. I'm Facebook and Google Plus. Facebook is for my life, my personal life, and Google Plus is for work. Google Plus is known. I think. What do you think, guys? Google Plus is a content social network, and Facebook is for the for your personal life. Um, Even if Facebook still works with business, but it's not a content social media.
Yeah, I agree with that. I use Google Plus for business, and I don't use Facebook because I don't have a personal life.
More than LinkedIn, Google Plus is the content social media, content network.
Yeah. I think one of the best features is that because it's kind of giving you integrations into everything, into your YouTube accounts, into your bloggers, so people actively use it because they can link up their pages and profiles into their active work portfolio. I mean, like if you had a YouTube channel and you were basically posting everything, I mean, your tips and tutorials and whatnot onto it, and finally there is a platform that gives you a complete packet that you can connect your Google Plus, YouTube into Google Plus, and your bloggers into Google Plus. A complete synchronization. I think that's where people are kind of using it. I think integration is one of the factors. YouTube integration is one of the factors that has influenced people to get onto Google Plus. That's what I have come across. Certain people that this is one of the reasons for them using Google Plus as a kind of content platform, or say kind of a platform where they are delivering their services or products, basically showcasing what they work about. I think that's the reason why people use Google Plus. You were saying?
I think it's the whole ecosystem of Google. You talk about YouTube, but the main SERPs and Gmail. If you create a new Gmail account, it's automatic create an Google Plus profile, and maybe some people think, oh, what is this? And many people comes to Google Plus or from Gmail or from other ecosystems of Google. What do you think?
I would partially agree to it, I think. What about you, Tony?
I'm thinking we mustn't forget that the whole Google Plus business page places thing, whatever it's called today, is a major thing for businesses in the Google world. That's where you can show up in search results or Google Plus, and you can have that account, your YouTube account. So I think that's quite a central place for businesses to be in this world. In the Google world.
Yeah, because any of the practice that we have today, the majority of users get across on google.com to search for something that they're looking for, and first thing that Google responds to them is with their profiles or reviews or the websites, but majorly their active profiles or pages with reviews. So by default, I think Google Plus becomes number one when it comes to your business users or your work users, because it gives you integration, it gives you top results when somebody search for your specific keywords. I think that's one of the by default thing that people are using Google Plus profiles or pages for showcasing their, because whenever you get on Google search, and if I search anything, even if I search Tony today, and I'm going to get his Google profiles by default or Google pages by default or a YouTube link about his videos. So, or the work related that he's integrated in case he has a work page on Google Plus, and in certain Tony's link added to it, it's going to by default reflect those pages as well. So I think the activeness of Google Plus, people are using because of its activeness, because of its integration into certain networks of Google own ventures.
I'm just looking at one of my clients and with their Google Plus business page, and it's something I keep telling quite a few clients is you've got to be on there. They're getting 300 views a day, which is getting several clicks a day, and they don't realize that how much is actually going on in the Google world compared to their Facebook page, which might get 1 like a week. Or
basically,
very little interaction.
Isn't that also because you cannot track back Facebook or Twitter much as actively that you can track back Google profiles and posts or pages because of the integrations?
Facebook does quite a bit of statistics for your page, I think, but tracking as in if they go to your website or not.
You would have to integrate a specific link if you have analytics installed in your. Does that give you an option? Because you can add links, right? Social links, social profiles. I think analytics does give you an option if you have your website installed onto Google Analytics. It does give you an option to add your Facebook link and Twitter link and other links as well, YouTube channel links as well. So is there a trackback option? Because I haven't used that option. I've not actually checked for that option. Does it give that integration?
I guess on all of them you can always do the UTM tracking codes. So if you're sending them to the website, you can create campaigns and associate them. I do that with my Google business page. So it comes under, I think Google Business is the campaign it comes under. And I guess actually it reminds me of Facebook is still supposedly the #1 referrer to a lot of businesses, so it does bring in business to the website or people. And as far as referrer data in Google Analytics, it is a big counter there.
Jim, about that Twitter post. The reason why I shared it because I remember talking about Tweetbee, where it gives you control of following set of people and unfollow set of people who does not follow you back. Uh, Basically, all these tools are to because with Twitter, when you use Twitter as a profile, I mean like not as a business project, but even as a your personal branding or your official branding, Twitter does not have a delivery platform that you can check back everything. So these are basically the tools that can help you with a lot of things. In case if you're running a campaign on Twitter or a kind of chat session on Twitter, these are basically tools to help you out on those platforms. You don't have to get onto your Twitter account directly. You can get onto these tools and directly have an interactive session and use anybody who's hashtagging or certain users or sorry hashtagging a certain trend that is going on or active users that has been into that chat session. They can check back all the responses that they post, and basically it's going to give you a trend of all the chats on that particular trend, hashtag trend. So I think these the tools are pretty effective. That in case if you're having a campaign or any kind of seminars or events that you are going to hold up. Tweetbee I found as a very interactive because I've been using that Tweetbee basically. I have a lot of users that I was following because whenever you switch to Twitter, it gives you a default option to follow everyone in your network or people that you know and they're active on Twitter. So I think it's one of those tools that people that you're following are not posting or not active. They just got into Twitter and made an active account, made just an account and went off. I remember talking about overall 70% users on Twitter in India basically. Other people who made a Twitter account and vanished. I remember speaking that last time. So this is one of the tools that can kind of help you out in the keep the junk out basically and see who people are actively responding, kind of giving retweets to, and bring them on session. Tweetbee is just not giving you unfollow; it's giving you a lot more things than that. It gives you a complete open chart if you're following somebody, and you can also check back how many people are actually following them. So if you're into business, this is one of the best tools that can be effective for you. You can basically read them. You can have an interactive session, then label them, mention them into your post, and by default, if people are hunting for those people and they check, they can check out what people are posting about them or to them. So it's, I think, one of the good tools. Buffer app I've been using actively because I don't use Twitter directly. What I do is, because if you guys have noticed my all profiles, what happens is I post one thing and it by default goes to all the networks. So Buffer app is one thing that I've been using actively because if there is something that I like on Twitter or any of my networks, I just put it on Buffer app and it posts to every network of mine. And the best part is that there's also a drawback. You would have to do that separately. I'll just come to that. But the also best part is that Google profile, Google, Twitter, and Facebook are actively using trends of hashtags. I'm not sure about LinkedIn because LinkedIn is not. I don't directly post to LinkedIn, but yeah, these are actively using hashtags. So if you're posting something with a hashtag on Buffer app, it actively picks that. I mean, Google would pick that. You posted something with hashtag. So is with Twitter and so is with Facebook. So it becomes a bit of trendsetter. And this is one of the best feature that with one click you share a single post with all the networks, with hashtags and trends. The drawback with Buffer app, this is I think with everyone, because Google Plus and Twitter has different ways to read mentions. So is with Facebook. Facebook and Twitter works with @ when you mention, right? So when it comes to mention, you should remember that Google Plus is with plus and with a plus symbol, and with Facebook and Twitter is with @. So if you're putting a post with uh, with mentions to somebody, uh, because they might have a different username. I mean, like I by default has Meher Bhagat on all my networks. So if I'm posting something, I would have to use @Meher Bhagat. But then when it comes to Google, Facebook profile of mine, I don't use Meher Bhagat. I use Meher Bhagat profile. So I would have to select, pick specific set of profiles. If I'm posting to Facebook, I would have to use @me, that way. So similarly, with any mentions that you're putting on for anybody else, you would have to remember, and that's where you might lose your business. So you have to be very selective which campaign is running for which project and who are the people with different URLs. But I think these are basically best tools available to have your content actively shared, because they also give you just not the option to share now, but Buffer app has can queue your 10 posts and at your selective time. It also has the analytics that gives you how many people have shared, how many people have liked. But it's still working on that, because I found there are certain glitches with Buffer app on analytics. But overall, these are basically good tools. They've not mentioned quite a lot, but there are many other tools. TweetShare is another tool that gives you an option if you're sharing a file and you can share it. You're uploading a file and you can share it on Twitter. So is with SlideShare. You can do the same. You just have to create a separate link for it. Remember that. But it gives you a complete synchronization of all the files that you have uploaded and shared. Maybe it's also giving you analytics, because I don't have an account with them. We'll share. They might be giving you some certain analytics that gives you an option to see how many people are downloading or how many people are checking it back. But overall, I think if you're an active user on Twitter, or if you want to run a certain campaign, these are good tools to use.
Yeah, definitely. I personally use Hootsuite, not Buffer. I guess they're competing products. From what I get, I think Buffer looks like a far simpler, smoother interface, easier to use, whereas Hootsuite has a lot of features, but it takes time to get to understand it and set it up. But they're both very powerful on what you can do there on scheduled posts and things like that.
Although Buffer, I cannot. Buffer is haunting me. I cannot get rid of it. I loaded the extension about a year ago and haven't used it since. But I keep removing it. But I use that Google synchronization feature in Chrome, and I use many desktops, and for some reason or other, it just keeps coming back. It's like a virus. Anyway. But hey, that's been I mean, look, I have to confess, I've had a hectic week and haven't been able to do my homework. I should have read that article, but I thank you for posting it. And you actually, I think you set a record on a single conversation in our Hangouts. You haven't been talking to Rob Wagner or John Britzios, have you?
Well, I haven't.
Anyway.
Maybe the influence, because I've been actively using these all platforms for last almost 2 months. I haven't been active that much, but last 2-3 months I found myself being active, and I'm trying to hunt down all the tools to basically put my so much of efforts to cut down, because all these networks requires efforts to actually build, connect, and interact with people, and basically to get back what you're looking for. So these networks, all the networks have different ways of working internally. but overall they do the same work for you. But when we say do the same work for you, they on the actual note, they're working differently with different set of tools, and they have to be dealt with differently. So these tools these tools has some tools of these tools that I've mentioned, or some posts that I've previously mentioned, has basically also helped me cut down my work. I mean, I've been using, I used Hootsuite for a certain time, but the dashboard was clumsy for me. And it wasn't that fast for me, to be honest. That's the reason I picked Buffer app over Hootsuite, because it was quick, it was dirty and quick at the same time. Does the same work for me. So yes, I would say I've been kind of actively using. That's the reason I'm talking about it.
Fair enough.
Girish asks a question. What's best tool for Google Plus posts? If I'm posting on Google Plus profile or page, then that particular post, share it on other social media profiles like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Currently, I'm using Hootsuite. I'm doing the same. I think Buffer also supports it, but currently Google Plus only lets you do automated posts to pages, business pages. Now, I can't remember the name of the tool offhand. It's a Chrome extension that lets you create automated posts to both profiles and pages. I'll see if I've got it installed somewhere. But that's probably the only option.
Okay. Sorry, Tony. Aren't there any? I'm sure there must be tools that can, give you a statistics on the kind of post that you share. If I'm sharing a certain post, somebody has posted, or even I might have posted on any of the social platforms, and there must be available tools on the internet, because I am sure there must be, that can give you a set of, you just have to enter the URL and see where this URL has been posted elsewhere, and the kind of interaction that has been going on with this particular URL. I'm sure there must be a tool that can help you. If not, I'm going to search and put it on next session.
Yeah, I guess it'd be nice across the different networks to pull out that information. I've found for your Google Plus posts, it's called DoShare, and it's a Chrome extension, and basically it adds a few buttons to your comment on Google Plus that allows you to do scheduled posting and things like that. So if you want to semi-automate your Google Plus posting, that's probably the best tool at the moment.
There are tools, however, Girish, there are tools that only, can allow you to track from your websites, but I am not sure if there are tools that can allow you to track from Facebook pages or internally. I mean, like, internally there are tools available. I mean, like, you can track where Google Plus posts are being shared or influenced. So is with Facebook and so is with LinkedIn. But I'm not sure if there is a multi-platform tool that is available that can let you track all the posts that have been shared across different networks. But in case if you've installed, share buttons on your website, you can definitely track analytics on the same platform. ShareThis has analytics installed, right? In case if you're installing ShareThis on your website, you can track where the links are going, to which networks, how many people have shared. You can check back the responses, but that's only for websites. But I don't think there are. There must be tools, but I'm not aware of those tools that can let you check the interactive, URL that's going across different networks. I would have to hunt that.
I think that'd be a really powerful tool for someone to write. To it's kind of going beyond, I guess, mentions, but actually tracking specific shares and links inside these networks. Yeah.
Speaking of tools, it's just dawned on me that both Christian and Tony are tool makers.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if, I'm sorry to spring it on you, Tony and Christian, but I was wondering if you'd like to talk about them.
Christian, do you want to go first?
Skipping, huh?
Okay, if not, yeah, I'm a software engineer by trade, so I'm just accidentally an SEO. So basically, it all started that if I couldn't find it out there, a tool to help me do it, I'd write it. Or in many cases, the tools that I could find were not exactly what I wanted. So I just started evolving, and you should actually see the software that I use myself. It's got 1 million buttons on it, on all these little features that I invent. So I'm just trying to find what I've done that's related to social media. So a lot of them are SEO. See, I'm sure I've done some. I've got a PageRank checker. Oh yeah, there's an interesting one. I've done a social profile search tool. I'll copy it in there. So some of my tools are basically web apps, and some are Windows. It all depends on what's needed, and where I get organized enough, I actually put out a public version of it, and the web ones are free. So this particular one, I think I was just using the ability to do a Google search and pull out all the social media accounts in that search result. So I'll see if it still works. If it does, I might do a screen share. Last thing, at the moment I'm focusing on a big SEO tool set to get data from places like Google Webmaster Tools and backlinks, and doing site crawls to pull together a whole SEO tool set. Oh, it kind of worked. So yeah, I'll do a screen share. So now where is it? How to find? It's a bit blank, isn't it? Seems to not show the actual screen. I'll try it this way. It's better. So basically, let's do social media, I guess. Social media. So if you do a search for social media, it'll try and find all the profiles from all the networks that show up in search results. And fingers crossed, we'll actually see some. Taking its time. There we go. So here are people who rank in search results for social media in my area. So I've built it in so you can quickly circle them and add them to circles. So it's picked up Facebook, lots of Google Plus, which is reflecting at the moment how much Google is showing Google Plus accounts and not the other ones. So that's the sort of tools I make, and so either it's for fun like this, or because I've had a necessity to do it. There you go.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Unfortunately, I think Christian must have a bandwidth issue, and he's not there. Okay. All right. Well, I think that really brings up our week. That finishes our 7 days. Or am I misreading it? Does anybody else want to add something to it?
Girish had a question about how to WordPress blog post share on social media platforms. Girish, there are very much tools available on WordPress. If you just go and check out plugin page on WordPress, you're going to find it. I found Micro Blog Poster, that's one of the auto share, and there is another NextScripts Social Networks Auto Poster that gives you a kind of an option to automatically republish your post to various networks. It has LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and many others. Similarly, there are also many other plugins that are available. You can just check in the compatibility of your WordPress that you've installed and these plugins and see how and which works best for you. I think, Girish, is there any other question that you had?
These are, if you create a new post, it will automatically share it on Facebook and Twitter. Is that the idea?
No, I'm sorry, you were saying?
I'm just trying to understand what it's about. So say you create a new post, WordPress blog post, these plugins will automatically
yes.
share that post.
Share.
Yeah.
Yes, and Girish, with your last question with your question on FTP details, well, I have a certain to actually, I was checking out plugins. There are many plugins that do not ask for your FTP details. They do not. They just you just install them, and whenever you post, you are into when you create a new post or a page. Pages are the option where you can uncheck if you do not want to share pages automatically. But in case if you're posting these, what happens is on the right side of your panel, you would see there is a button that says auto share. You can check it whenever you're done with your post, and you just hit the button of update or post. It by default sends all that same post to all the networks that you've integrated. So it does. Most of the apps do not ask for your FTP details. I mean, it's irrelevant. You don't have to.
Unless I had a client once which was configured that to do any plugins, it would actually ask FTP details. They tightened up the security on the system. So Girish, that might be a problem, that it's not the plugin. It's WordPress itself doesn't have the permissions to install plugins without you giving it. So if it's that case, so when you try and install, it says what's the details. That's only you're basically temporarily giving WordPress the right to install the plugin, and once it's done, WordPress forgets about it.
But I've installed WordPress on my network, my hosting on. In fact, I've installed WordPress on many of my domains, and I do not see. In details, I do not. When I open up details, it does not give me an option for plugins and all. It does not give me any specific or set of instructions for plugins. I just load plugins directly. I don't have any issues from that.
Yeah, I'm only having with one client, and
maybe he has the old. It could be possible, Tony, that he is using an old version of WordPress. Maybe that's one of the issues.
Could be as well, yeah. Because normally if you go into plugins and find the plugin and press the button, WordPress should do it all automatically. Normally you don't need FTP details, but if you do, it's the fact that WordPress doesn't have permissions that it needs to do it for you.
Well, Girish, your website, maybe it's. I'm not sure. Why are you facing issues with malware on your website? There could be many other issues. There must be a set of a plugin that might be, defecting your system. You could check in all the plugins are safe or not. There could be also an option, see, you got to check your version of WordPress. What is it? Is it the latest version that you have, or a stable version that you have, or a very old version that you have? You got to check out your WordPress version first. And if you have issues, you can reinstall the whole thing, take the back of all the pages and the post, and then WordPress is convenient-ish. But then it's going to create new URLs, so you got to watch that. If you're not ready for it, simply upgrade it. That's what best option. You don't have to reinstall it. Simply upgrade it. Check in for compatibilities. That's one of the best things that you can check for.
And as a defense, you can get some plugins to protect you from malware attacks. I just had a client who got hit by a pretty nasty one, and I had to completely reinstall WordPress. Luckily, the same database, but all brand new files. Some plugins that work well are iTheme Security, and that adds things like it blocks people doing multiple attempts to log into your system. And another one I use is WordFence. And what's nice about that, in fact, for this particular client, I've got it switched on to email me every time a single file changes on the website. And because that's basically how the malware got in the last time. So I generally get a daily email that I can go through, and if files have changed outside of what I did, I'm straight away know there's something dodgy happening.
Thing is that there's no such thing as a free lunch, and one thing you have to be aware of with themes and so on, that some people don't always build themes or offer plugins for altruistic reasons. Sometimes it's self-interest that motivates them. All right. Have we exhausted ourselves for the day? Should we go to green room?
I'm happy.
Yep. Okay. Well, look, we still have a viewer watching us. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that you would take an interest in what we have to say. We'll be back at the same time next week to do it all again. And I'll post a link to this chat in the Social Media Fridays community. Feel free to come and join us yourself. Thank you.